So hey guys, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're gonna be doing another random opinions about random things. This has turned into like my hobby now. Like all I do now is look at stuff on the internet, open my notes on my phone, and just make random opinions about things that I'm seeing. So we will probably keep up this series a little bit longer. Again, these are somewhat unpopular opinions. Some of them are just random opinions, but for the most part, they're always very triggering and very thought-provoking. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first opinion is, I think Ice Spice is supposed to be a hip-hop pop star. I feel like what is smart about the way that she's being promoted is that she's not just appealing to an urban audience. Some of her songs, and I guess maybe her flow, is so lighthearted and fun that I think she's being marketed in other music genres. Like, I think it's actually very smart. When I think of Ice Spice, initially she's supposed to be a rapper, but I like her collaboration on the song The Boy's a Liar because yes, she raps on it, but the collaboration made her look way more versatile because of the sound of the song. I think what she's going to give is a lot more bop music with a mesh of the hip-hop, drill, and pop music sounds. And if we're being real, yes, some other rappers are doing that, but she also is really big right now, and it's really working in her favor. If you look at Ice Spice's Instagram page, her engagement is crazy. Like, she literally has more viewership and more likes on her posts than some other female rappers that are way more established. When it comes to music, be versatile. It's easier to touch other genres and reach other audiences, and I think Ice Spice is going to do more of both, and it will help her career. My next opinion is, the show Dear White People on Netflix completely failed after the second season. And I mean completely failed. The first season was so good. All of the characters were so dynamic. They made sense. The storyline was easy to follow. And I feel like it was a good representation of being Black at a PWI. Everybody's experience is different, but since they were at a fictional Ivy League school, it was really interesting to see all of their storylines, and I really did love the show at first. However, when they did the season that was supposed to mimic the pandemic, they just completely missed the mark. And there was a lot of shows that were following this idea of implementing pandemic guidelines and storylines in their episodes, and it was just kind of annoying because not everything has to replicate what is going on in the real world. Also, there was like a musical element in either season 3 or season 4, and it just didn't hit. This was one show that had so much potential to be addicting and have a cult-like following, and I'm not even sure what happened. It was good for the first 1 or 2 seasons, but I don't think the show can be revived. My next opinion is, I love supporting Black business, but there's really no point in buying somebody's growth oil. I feel like everybody knows how to make growth oil, and everybody knows where to find the ingredients to make it. It's really kind of simple. When I see people selling growth oil and they promote it as the only product to make edges grow and for hair to be flourishing, I'm like, I'm here for the promotion, but I think growth oil is one of those things that if you're into Black hair care, you can easily make yourself. I don't understand purchasing other people's because sometimes, yes, it's for support, but it's just one of those products that have been so oversaturated as of late. I have been using the Miel Rosemary Oil. I have been meaning to try it for a while and just started using it. If you're using it, what are your thoughts on it? Does it really work? So far, no complaints, but I still have to test it out and measure and see if it works for me. Definitely let me know some other brands because I'm always down to support. I'm not gonna make my own oil, by the way, but nonetheless, growth oil, you can just make it at home by yourself. My next opinion is, Sukihana should have been canceled a long time ago when she was twerking her body on a minor child. I really don't understand how she is still able to trend on the blogs, make headlines, put out music, and have a viable career. And it's really no hater shit. It's just like, when some people are supposed to be controversial and they're meant for entertainment and their entire brand is polarizing controversy, I do get it in the name of doing what you need to do to put food on the table. But I feel like some of these people just cross the line in ways that really shouldn't be overlooked. Anything done with kids is just too far. Yes, she's known for the most raunchy music and pushing the envelope and also being aggressively fortified in hoe culture, slut culture, the whole 9 yards. When I see her, I just keep scrolling. I just think she's a little bit too over the top, but people do be coming for her unprovoked sometimes. Either way, there's just too many examples of behavior that really is alarming that gets a pass just because the person is famous. I think Sukihana is definitely one of them. My next opinion is, I think Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are putting Zaya Wade in front of unnecessary scrutiny. I just feel like for a child, there has to be a little bit more privacy because something as polarizing as gender identification or having a sex change or just being a child within this conversation, it's very touchy. And I think they believe that they're standing behind their child and championing her choice, and they are, but there's also the side of allowing for unnecessary controversy in this child's life. I think good and bad to this whole entire story. And I think the media is showing a bit of a smokescreen by the fact that Gabrielle Union is a successful actress and Dwayne Wade is a successful basketball player, and they both have money. So on the outside looking in, it does look like a parent doing whatever it takes to make their child happy and comfortable. But I feel like if this was any other normal, everyday, average mom and dad or stepmom and dad, it would be looked at differently. I haven't really looked too deeply behind more of the story in regards to Zaya Wade's biological mother, but I feel like her disapproval of all of this should be taken into consideration. People have written her off as crazy or a deadbeat mother or whatever, but I feel like that just can't be the case all the way, especially when we're talking about a child being in the limelight for something so controversial. I just want to see how this whole thing plays out as Zaya gets older. I truly wish her the best because this world is not a nice place, and I just really hope there's no malice behind the scenes with her parents making her journey with gender and identity so public. My next opinion is, it's very weird and anti-black that some girls think that getting braids is not a birthday hairstyle. It's like I kind of see what they're trying to say, but I really don't. Braids are the most versatile hairstyle there is, and they're very protective on natural black hair. And I think for a while, the black community neglected braids and read them off as a child's hairstyle. I think it was like 2017 when being African became popular. Braids, feed-in braids, Fulani braids, and twists, Senegalese twists, all of those styles really came back in style. Think about it. There was a point in time where sew-ins and quick weaves were really at the most prominent height of popularity within black hairstyles. And there was a slight shift around like 2017 when Afrobeats really started to take off. And I even see it a lot with guys too. I have never seen this many guys wear locks and twisted hairstyles and braiding their natural hair and just letting their hair grow out so it can be braided down. I saw a Twitter discourse about how braids are not a birthday hairstyle, and I just think that's anti-black. Braids are most definitely a hairstyle that is meant for special occasions as well. Just because it's a protective hairstyle doesn't mean that it doesn't give when we're trying to do something special. My next opinion is, I don't think it's wrong for a man or a woman to not date somebody if they claim to be bisexual. This is such a risky thing for me to say, but I feel like if I'm a straight woman and there's a guy who is pursuing me, but he's also into guys and he's also into girls, there's nothing wrong with me saying that I don't want to date him simply because of that. I don't think that makes you anti-LGBTQ+, let alone homophobic or biphobic. I think it just makes you straight. And if everybody has the right to be whatever sexual orientation, then there really shouldn't be any attack on that. I just think people should understand that there are people who will be okay with it and there are people who won't. But to imply that there's some type of detest of an entire community because someone rather have a partner who is straight like them, I just don't get it. I lose subscribers every single time I speak on anything related to this, but I just feel like it's about that time that people actually boldly say how they feel in regards to being called whatever phobic for very minor disagreements. There are aspects of every nuance in the world that some people subscribe to, but they don't subscribe to everything about it. And I think that's just life, and I think that's just fair. There are even some straight men who, yes, they would have a sexual fantasy of having a threesome with 2 other women, but still wouldn't want to date or be in a relationship with someone who likes both men and women. And I really don't even understand exactly why people feel that way. However, I don't think people should be shamed for it. And I see it a lot on Twitter. I was reading a whole thread about this the other day, and I was surprised to see that people think it's wrong that a straight person may not prefer someone who likes both genders. I am not against anybody's choice in regards to sexual orientation. However, I do think that people should respect that not everyone agrees with everything, and that doesn't make them against you either. My next opinion is, comedians aren't really funny anymore. They are more or less comically offensive. Recently, Chris Rock was trending because he has a new Netflix special out. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I really don't usually watch comedy shows. However, I did catch some of the discourse on Twitter, and most of it was just saying how he was very offensive to black women. He called out black women, and he even allowed for white comedians to use the N-word and didn't say anything about it, but had a lot to say about black women. I don't think it's just Chris Rock that has been a perpetrator of comedians who receive backlash for the things that they say. It's just been this reoccurring pattern of things that are supposed to be funny ending up really offensive. And I think comedy has always been a poke at things that are actually true, but making light of them. But I do think there is a thin line between what is funny and what is offensive. And some of it is offensive yet funny, but if there is a pattern of a comedian throwing jabs at a certain group of people, I think people do have the right to assume that there is a little bit more hostility and animosity there than just comedy. I would probably have to watch the comedy special to see my real thoughts, because I do believe that there was more to everything that he said other than just focusing on black women. I kind of feel like everybody got dragged from the clips that I saw, but of course, what is going to trend is black women calling out black men, because there is this repeat notion of offensive verbiage and even characters being masked as comedy. I feel like between Chris Rock and then all of the comedians that dress up as caricatures of stereotypical black women, from Madea to Big Mama to Shanae to Blame It on Quay, all of that stuff really has been making black women the butt of so many jokes and does a disservice to the culture. My next opinion is, the inflation of the price of beauty services is a direct reflection on entrepreneurship entrepreneur and chase the bag culture. Of course, I could say that the reason why everybody wants to look a certain way and the reason why the price of these beauty services has skyrocketed is because of social media and everybody being obsessed with vanity. That's the easy answer. But I think if you look a little bit deeper, the push to be an entrepreneur and everybody feeling like a 9-to-5 job is now out of their league is the reason why a lot of these beauty services has gone up. Back in the day, getting a beauty service or finding a beauty professional was kind of exclusive. Not that it was a secret, but everybody had the people that they go to, and only certain amounts of people did that type of work. But because the internet has told everyone to quit their 9-to-5 job and chase the bag and live in this entrepreneurial spirit, not only does that mean that there are way more people in this line of business and it drives up the yearning to patronize people, but it also means that although there are more beauty service providers, there's also more of a market and more of an industry. And when there is more focus on that industry because everybody can easily obtain resources to carry it on, the prices are going to reflect that. Think about it. I'm not sure if there are more or less people working because of this entrepreneurial lifestyle movement that we're living in, but I do know that if it's fast and accessible for the average girl to go get certified in lashes or waxes or whatever, there's simply going to be more promotion of these services put into people's faces to make them want to buy more into it. I think the entrepreneur movement is good, and I'm actually going to do a video on it very soon, but I think one side effect is that consumerism has increased on all formats. Less people are choosing the traditional secondary education route and really just going into the workplace. And a lot of that has been in the beauty world through lash extensions, hairstyling, becoming a nail technician, and so forth. People have really shown how to make a huge profit from the beauty world, and so it reflects in why a full set is now costing you $100, give or take. Gone are the days of a full set of nails costing you $30 or $40. I think that is completely dead and will never return, unfortunately. And I think the more that we encourage this entrepreneur lifestyle, the more inflation will increase in the economy. I'm not sure if this is good or bad, but it's just something that I definitely noticed. So my last opinion is I completely despise Young Miami's reasoning for not wanting to get married. I feel like the only reason somebody should not want to get married is because they do not want to get married due to their belief of being better off solo and not wanting to have to deal with the legality of it. However, to say that she doesn't want to get married because she feels like all men are unfaithful, I just feel like that is more or less a response that is based off of the precedents that are prevalent in her life. If she's saying that she's been cheated on in every situation and it has made her turn a blind eye to marriage, I think there needs to be a better re-evaluation of the types of men that she goes for, as well as how she is presenting herself to men. See, a few months ago, y'all were dragging me for saying that Young Miami was wrong and weird for admitting that she likes to get peed on by whichever man that she's with. And I was called a kink shamer, but the same woman who accepted being pissed on is now saying that she's not going to be sharing her next man, is now telling everybody that she doesn't want to be married because men are unfaithful. I'm going to be honest enough to say that I actually do like Young Miami because she's unapologetically herself. She's actually very hilarious. She's the type of girl that nobody would ever think would become famous because of her background, but she's proven so many people wrong by walking through a lot of doors and being successful to her own merit. And that's why I like her, being unapologetically yourself and being honest about who you are, similar to me. I just don't like her choices. I think the reality is she's presented herself as a promiscuous and heartless and unapologetically independent woman in her music and her personal life. And it's not really working out for her. I don't believe that she doesn't want to be married for the reasons that she stated. I believe that a lot of women are getting older and realizing that a lot of the narratives that they have pushed, a lot of the responses to their trauma that they have accepted, and the expectations that have been placed on them did not serve a benefit. A lot of this is just burnout. We are witnessing burnout in so many different forms of celebrities, and in this case, I think Young Miami is probably a little bit burnt out from the types of relationships that she has had, especially ever since she's been mainstream. I would agree that some of her points were valid because if you've never been in a faithful relationship, you may be traumatized. So it's not like I am completely insensitive to her feelings. I just think that it's a two-way street of her approach to dating and the types of men that she's gone for, as well as the history of her relationships causing her to be apprehensive with something as serious as marriage. I think every woman is deserving of marriage. I think everybody is deserving of true love. And I feel like people don't realize that you have to do the internal work before you get to the path to find the person that is right for you. I learned this lesson the hard way, thinking that I could just be a surface level individual and expect to attract the type of men that I really, really want. And that was a hard lesson to learn, especially as a young 20-something. Like during college, I swear I dated all the wrong types of men, but it's taught me so many lessons about myself that I don't regret and that I needed to learn. I do have this very traumatic response to dating. I've been celibate for going on 3 years. I don't go on dates. I don't take anybody serious. And I don't really have any interest in changing this anytime soon. Yes, it makes me a little bit sour about wanting a serious relationship, but I think that period of uncertainty uncertainty or that period of assessing the trauma that you have taken on from your previous relationships is actually the period of time that you are supposed to be working on yourself. The red flags become so much more apparent when you're approaching guys, and your actual needs reveal themselves the older that you get and the more experienced that you are. I think for young Miami, there's a lot of pressure on her to be seen in a certain light when it comes to men. I'm gonna need her to stop settling though. And I hate that she has kind of tarnished her reputation a little bit dealing with Diddy, because I think she's so much more deserving of a better situation. I feel like the internet egged her on to be deeper involved with Diddy, because I guess to some people they look like a good couple, and people have this tendency to encourage women to stay with well-known men for perks and benefits, even if it's not serving them any benefits mentally and emotionally. And I don't think the situation serves her mentally and emotionally, and that's why her response has been what it is in her approach to dating. Also, there are way less viable black men, especially in her tax bracket, that she has to choose from. The options seem to be so limited for black women, and I think that's another reason why some of us restrict our development in the love department. Nonetheless, I think hindsight is 20/20, and I can resonate with her apprehension to want to get serious with somebody. I don't agree with her saying that she does not want to be married, because even though I've been through a lot when it comes to dating and guys, and I still be going through it, not gonna lie, I still want to be married. And I do believe that when you alter your approach to finding love, you receive better options and better results. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. Did I trigger you? What are some of your unpopular opinions? Definitely leave a comment. Don't forget to stream my song Ballin'. It is out on all platforms. The link is down below, and I have new music dropping this month. Stay tuned. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
I said 34 beat cup, 30 in the deep cut, 20 baddies with me, QTM, yeah, we up. 16 tops and bottoms, man, I went and got my teeth done. 10 minutes with him, now his 15 minutes is cut. Never ever make a nigga think that he up, cause you a queen and I'm a queen, now shout out to Latifah. Security in the back with a racket like Serena. Ex-nigga crying, laugh at him like a hyena. Like, damn, what you saying, daddy? Yeah, I know I got it, fatty. Pussy talking to him, talk my shit, yeah, I be getting catty. Play with me, I bet you won't. Daddy on his chest and now he calling me a stethoscope. Pink fit, look thick, I'm looking good, incredible. Cut a nigga off, I'm coming through like a semicolon. Mansion in the motherland, December come, that's where we going. Body have my niggas frozen, niggas put my picture up and yeah, they go and get the lotion. And I'm the one they check up on, feeling so lucky, getting green like a leprechaun. Run a few errands with the bag with the checkers on it. Push it on the floor because it's mine and I'm stepping on it. Get the cheese and keep it wet, so yeah, he call me macaroni. Niggas on my line and now they begging me for matrimony. Detroit